All right, everybody, how's it going today? Welcome to another episode of Bumper to Bumper. I am your hostess with the mostest, Chris Candy, here in Hollywood, California, and welcome to another episode of Bumper to Bumper. We've got a really great episode today and a lot of new technology, a lot of new features. I'm really happy to announce we've got new microphones. We've got these awesome new headsets so that the microphone doesn't go directly into our faces if we were to ever get into an unforeseen accident. So we're not doing that, but we do have an awesome guest today, chef de cuisine, good friend of mine, Marie Sadron. I said that wrong. I absolutely did, but that is neither here nor there because we're going to get into it today with her. Get lost with us in the Vortex here, but let's just start this show up. Let's call in Rick, see what Rick's doing, and we're going to go pick up Marie. All right, so call in Rick now. Let's see if we can get him on. All right, hold on here. Oh, here we go. Getting him in.
Hello?
Hey there, Rick.
Oh, hey, Chris.
How are you,
How
buddy?
are you?
Good. No stress at all. No stress whatsoever.
Are we always stressed on every episode
Yeah.
because of all the technology we have to use?
Yes, we are.
Did you tell our audience that we switched over to different mics?
I did. We've got a new headset microphone thing going on, which is really cool.
So, I don't know if Chris told you guys, but I'll tell you again. We're on about a 4 to 5 week delay with these podcasts.
Yep.
So it's exciting because our first 2 episodes, at the time of recording this episode, have already come out.
Yeah.
So people know about the podcast. People are subscribed to the podcast. And one of our friends, Richie Trimble.
Oh yeah.
He was the only friend to do this. He sends me a text messages and he goes, "Hey brother, I love the podcast, but I'm really concerned for you and Chris because you have those giant microphones right in front of your face, and if that airbag goes off, you're gonna die." And Chris and I, we both are in the acting world, and our face, it's our money maker.
Yeah.
That's what's getting us the money.
See this right here? If you're watching on YouTube, this thing brings in a lot of dollar bills.
Brings in the bills. And
I can't have...
No one's going to want a hole in the face. No one's going to want a hole in our face and be like, "How'd you get that hole?"
Yeah.
I got it because I was doing a podcast and
that I
got
do
into it.
for the love of entertainment.
I'll be honest with you. I was really pissed off, and I already told Richie this. I'm not talking shit about him, but I was pissed when he texted me this because I was like, I just bought this $400 damn microphone, and now you're putting this negative shit in my brain.
Oh,
and
it was really bad.
The next day, he said, "What about headsets like Britney Spears?" And I went, that's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
And we did a little bit of research.
Well, these are good. These sound pretty good, I think. I think the listening public will enjoy these.
I did a little comparison, and you can't really tell a difference. So
you can't.
And the good thing is, like, if we have an airbag and it deploys in our face, God forbid, then we're not going to have a microphone. You know what, Chris? I kind of like it because there's no mic stand now. There's no sandbag to worry about.
Yeah.
And whatever. That's neither here nor there. That's what
I've
you
already
always
said.
say.
I just said neither here nor there before the show started. All right, I already said it.
That's like your favorite catchphrase to say. Neither here nor there.
Yes, it's
neither here nor there.
It's neither here nor. Yeah. How are you? Now the other thing that you want to know what I'm worried about. So when I plug in the GoPro, normally there's an electric sign, but when I put it in play mode, the electric sign goes away and just shows the battery. But I'm plugged in. So if this thing goes,
I don't know what to tell you.
I don't know. Look, we're gonna go as long as we go. It's showing 3/4 battery life, but
3/4 battery life.
Yeah.
I thought you got the cable plugged in.
It plugged in, but it doesn't show it's fully charging. I think it's charging. We're gonna just see
what happens. I think you're fine. I think you're. Did you fully charge the battery last night?
Yes, I did.
You're fine. You're fine. Okay. Here's the thing. The audience doesn't give a shit
about the
how
technical
we put the show
stuff.
together.
I know, but they want to know. Look, I can only be myself. All right, I gotta share the fact that I'm a little nervous. Okay. Oh, I'm right by
I'm
UCB
nervous about?
right now.
This is
what?
This is one of the latest podcasts we've done. Typically, we like to do it We like to do it in the sunlight hours, but tonight we're going to be going into darkness. So
well, in LA too,
it's getting a little dark.
Yeah, it's daylight savings right now in the Vortex, and I also like whoever coined it. We're in the Vortex, live from the Vortex, bumper to bumper. Look, get lost with us here. Right now in the Vortex, it's daylight savings, and it gets dark so freaking early. It's pretty obnoxious.
Can I just say?
Yeah, go ahead.
You know, I checked our ratings, and we had a strong 5-star rating. We had a whole 6 people give us 5 stars, and somebody out there in the bumper to bumper universe gave us 1 star. 1 star for this podcast. I feel like it was someone. I'll tell you what. It wasn't somebody that was like, this show sucks so bad that I'm going to give it 1 star. It was someone that said, it's not all 5 stars. I'm going to balance out the playing field and drop their average down a little bit by giving them 1 star. I want to know who that is, because I feel like it might have been one of your fans.
Look, first of all, it wasn't one of my fans. I don't have fans. I have friends. All right, I got buddies in this whole thing.
Friends.
Right? I got friends. I got friends. And second of all, it was one of your friends, I'm sure, because
why was it my friend?
Because some of your friends love casting shade. All right, they just love. They love a little shade.
Whoa! Some of my friends like casting shade.
You're one.
You got to give me some names. You got to give me names right now.
No, I'm not giving any names. I'm not giving any names.
How's your love life going on?
My love life? My love life is fine, man. I'm on the hunt. I'm on the hunt for love at any given moment. Did you hear that,
ladies? Chris is on the hunt for love, okay? So if you want to go on a date with him, you can email him at Chris M.
They know how to get a hold. Look, it's easy to get a hold of me. You just go to my website. Look, that's the funny thing.
Website,
go to my website.
Send him a pic.
lonelybastard.com. Let's see here. I'm getting close to Marie, actually.
Let's talk about Marie here. I've never met this
I'm excited
this woman
about
that you speak of.
Yeah,
Tell us about, like, we'll get into it with her, but what are we in for here? What's going on here?
Marie is a friend of mine through my friend Natalie Love. It's her cousin, I believe. And Marie is French. She's from Paris. And she's moved to Los Angeles several years ago, and she is a very, very good chef. I mean, she has worked in restaurants. She has worked in catering for movie shoots and all kinds of stuff. But I've had a bunch of her soufflés, and they are really good. She does a lot of catering now for private events and parties, and we're trying to keep this podcast, interesting. So we're bringing on.
Keep it diverse.
We're keeping it diverse in a good way. We've got a really awesome chef de cuisine coming up. I don't even know if I'm using any of the terms right. I'm nervous talking about cooking because I don't know what I'm doing. I don't
know anything about cooking, so this is exciting because all of our guests up to this point have either been actors, filmmakers, comedians. They're all people that are like us. So
it's easy to talk. It's easy to talk shop when it's getting close. It's easy to talk shop when it's. I think this is a street. Okay, we're getting into her neighborhood here.
What part of town are you at right now?
I'm near your office. I'm near your office, actually. I'm in the Los Feliz area. So I don't know.
Where interesting.
I don't know what area she what errand she needs to do, but all right.
Well,
here we go.
we picked the worst time for traffic. I've been literally just stuck. I've got some weird, like, agita heartburn going on.
You do?
I had I made some eggs with some spicy sauce, and then I had an espresso. And I just got back from Mexico City. I did a big job for a client that I can't say because I signed a little contract, and you're not supposed to say who it is. But I feel like by the time that this podcast comes out, we're such on a delay right here. It's so interesting to me. We're in the vortex, you know?
Yeah, we're in the vortex.
We're in the Is she coming?
Marie? I just texted her. Just, don't stress, man. You stress too much, dude.
Hey,
you gotta be like me, dude. I'm chill. I'm
chill as a cucumber, cold as a bottle of wine.
Chill as a cucumber.
Smooth as an ice cube.
I have the AC on in the car too, so
I was thinking of getting rid of my car and buying a Tesla. What do you think about that?
A Tesla?
Yeah.
I mean, things must be really good if you're thinking about getting a Tesla, buddy.
They're all right. You know what I want to buy? Well, I actually put my $100 into the pot for the new Cybertruck. That thing looks so fucking cool.
You want to get that?
You know what I'm talking about?
You want to get that?
Oh yeah,
thing?
dude. I want that thing. That thing will be the funnest thing to drive around. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
It's like the DeLorean, but not. It's the Cybertruck.
All right, Marie just texted me, Je rêve. I don't know what that means.
What does that mean? I don't speak French.
I don't either. I mean,
does that mean she's late?
No, I think it's coming. Maybe 19. Yeah, maybe she's on her way. Maybe that's what it means.
I hope she's got a Jay-Z. Jay-Z. Jay-Z.
Oh my God.
Jay-Z.
We're in trouble.
Why am I in trouble?
Oh, here she comes.
I can't make fun of. Okay, there we go.
Here we go.
Here she comes, ladies and gentlemen.
Come on in.
Coming in the podcast. Here we go. This is going to be an exciting time.
Marie
Don't forget to give her your AirPod. Marie de Paris.
Hello, Marie.
Hi, Chris.
Marie.
How are you? Here's your microphone.
This is excellent.
And then here, put this in your ear, and you'll be able to hear Rick.
Okay.
Hey, Marie.
Oh, do the other one, I think.
Oh, the other one.
Can you hear Rick?
Hi, Rick.
Hi, Marie. This is Rick.
Hi, Rick. This is Marie.
Hey. Oh, how are you? Thanks for being on our podcast.
Yeah, thanks for being on the podcast.
Buckle up.
Oh, well, thanks for asking me.
Oh, yeah.
We have to be
just
safe.
Hold the mic up as close to the... Yeah, perfect. Ready to go.
Perfect.
Oh, yeah.
Ready
so this
to
is how
go.
we look. Showing her the image.
Oh.
Oh, here we go.
Where's the camera?
Okay.
Nice.
So, do you have an errand you need to go on?
Well, I do, but
What is it?
I can't think of one right now.
Do you need to, do you need to go to the market?
Well, I just brought my keys.
Oh, okay.
But I brought you some chocolates.
Oh, whoa. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Candied orange peels.
Oh, my God. These are awesome.
Dipped
Wow.
in chocolate.
These look
This is
delicious.
awesome.
Thank you.
Homemade.
This is great. Well,
You know,
what?
usually when we have actors on the podcast, they bring us their headshots.
Okay, Rick. That was the worst joke you've ever told to date. That was like a me joke. It was so bad. I usually tell a joke like that. All right, well, let's go to a grocery store.
We can go to, I like going to Lassen's on Hillhurst.
Perfect. Or is there anywhere farther? What about the Lassen's in Echo Park?
We can go to that
Go to the
one.
Lassen's in Echo Park.
All right, we're going to go to that one. Perfect.
Okay.
Nice. Great.
Running an errand. So everyone's got to get something
So-
at Lassen's always. All right, so...
Marie, what let's get into it. I want to know about food.
Yes? What do you
How
want to know?
long what brought you into becoming a chef? What's your story? How did you did your parents cook? Is that something you've always wanted to do in your life? Tell us about it.
Well, the story is that I was born in France and raised there, and I've always loved being around food, and I cooked a lot with my mother, my American mother, who taught me a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And she loved to cook too. And I don't know, I always wanted to have a catering company, and then I just decided to learn how to cook, because you can't really have a catering company if
Right.
you don't know how to cook. So I started in a 3-star Michelin restaurant in France, which was a very high start, and I trained in the kitchen for a whole summer. And then I started working with another chef a few years later, I started working with another chef doing catering and private chefing. And now I'm in LA. I'm skipping a lot of
Well, we're going to
steps,
get into
but
all of it. Don't worry.
Now
We're
I'm
gonna
in
get into all
LA
of it.
doing it on my own.
What was the restaurant that you worked at? Where was it?
It's called L'Espérance, and it's in Burgundy, in Saint-Père-sous-Vézelay. And the chef at the time was called Marc Menot, and he's closed now.
So is he still cooking places? Rick and I were also talking earlier about we don't really know the terminology very well, so we
don't know anything. I can barely make cereal.
Yeah, but that's the whole fun part about all of this stuff. Oh, there was James Bond. I knew that guy in the car over there. Yeah, he was probably looking at me like I was giving tour guides.
Wait, did you see Daniel? You just saw Daniel Craig?
No, this guy that owns Undefeated. His name's James Bond. And
his name is James Bond?
Yeah, his name's James Bond. And he was looking
I
at
guess
me.
there's got to be somebody.
And I used to work for his company, so he's probably thinking I'm some kind of weird tour guide now. Little does he know, I'm doing an incredible podcast.
Hey, Chris, let me tell you something. Everyone in this town, everyone's inside their own butthole. No one knows what's going on.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
He's not thinking about you. He doesn't care about you, Chris.
No, people,
but I care about you.
Oh, thank you so much, Rick.
Everybody's
so much, Rick. I appreciate that so much. Oh my God. Okay, so Marie, wait, where were you born?
I was born in Paris.
Okay. And
oh, nice. I've heard of that.
Yeah, Rick and I were just over there.
We were just there. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I was gonna
for your birthday.
Well, it wasn't specifically for my birthday, but I was there on my birthday.
You were maybe going to stay at my friend's house, but it didn't work out.
Yeah, it didn't work out exactly. I and of all things, I got food poisoning in Paris. That's brutal.
Where?
Oh yeah, that's right, you did.
At the Hoxton House. Yeah, it was
in the Sentier.
Yeah. What did that mean?
That's the area
of
okay. Paris.
Yeah, and it was eggs. It just did not work with me, and my body said no. And then we don't need to get into the details, but the best part about it is I felt better the next day, so I was able to enjoy Paris. But that's kind of brutal because Paris has got really great food.
It's supposed to.
Yes, but what is your take?
But the French do have a bit of a chip on their shoulder. I suffer from it too.
What is it? Explain this
chip.
Wait,
what is this chip? Explain the chip. It's neither here nor there.
What?
Nothing. I'm making fun of Chris.
Yeah.
I did.
No. What is the chip? Because we all know about the chip.
Oh well,
why is there a chip?
We're just kind of we're proud of ourselves, rightly so. That's having a chip, you know.
Yeah.
But I don't know. We're just so proud of our food and our wine and our culture, and we think that we know better than everybody, which we kind of do. Mm-hmm. But
okay.
Okay.
I'm not here.
There's the chip.
Yeah. But I mean, things evolve too.
So when you were, what was your earliest memories around food? And like, how did you say to yourself, I want to do this?
I love this. Yeah.
Full time. Like, what was like the early kind of inception mode for all of that?
Well, it was when I actually found out that I wanted to have a catering company.
Okay.
And so I decided to go to business school to get a master's degree I decided to get a master's degree, but to prepare for that, I thought I should learn about cooking.
Yeah.
Because I'd worked a lot in restaurants during my previous studies, but always up front, and so I thought I should spend some time in a restaurant, and somehow it happened to be in a super fancy kitchen, which was great because I got to see the best, the creme de la creme, right from the start.
Yeah, definitely. What were some of the restaurants?
No pun intended.
My God, Rick, you are really
what?
You're like
I'm on fire today.
You're 2 for 2.
Creme de la creme.
Jokes.
Creme de la creme. That's not a bad joke.
Back to the real interview. Bye, Rick. It was fun talking to you.
Bye.
What was like when you were a kid? What were your favorite places to go eat?
McDonald's.
No, I hated McDonald's.
Yeah, that's bad.
Because it was American. I didn't like being American. I still sometimes don't like being American, but I love it too.
Right.
But I guess I really liked my mom's cooking the most.
Yeah. What would she cook?
I loved spent the summers we spent in Maine and eating the food and eating lobster in Maine. That was always a big thrill of the year. And my mom, I don't know, she just cooked she makes the best roasted chicken. Best roast chicken. She makes the best chocolate mousse because her chocolate mousse has little chocolate pieces that aren't quite melted, so it has a little bite on some bites.
God. Yeah.
That sounds so good.
It's so good. Maybe I'll make it for you guys one day.
Oh my
It's
God.
a vegetarian.
We would love that.
Oh, it is vegetarian.
It's vegetarian.
Très bien.
Très bien. I was born in Canada, and I took one French class when I went to school there, and I have a hard time understanding French.
That's okay.
Yeah, so maybe we could do like a French lesson throughout this, but
oui.
Vegetarian. How am I?
Vegetarian.
Vegetarian.
Yeah.
Oh, that sounded pretty good.
I have a question.
Yes.
What you said that you wanted to start a catering company before you wanted to learn how to professionally cook. Is that true? That's what you said?
Yes.
So what? Yeah. Usually I would think it would be the reverse.
I know.
You start cooking and then you branch. What was it about a catering company that appealed to you? And then maybe if you can go into the differences between working at your own catering company and working at a restaurant, what you like about each and why you prefer one over the other.
Well, in restaurants, I've never really worked in the kitchen, except when I just moved to LA. I ended up in a kitchen making brunch eggs.
What kitchen was that? Where'd you work?
I worked on Larchmont.
Oh, wow.
For maybe 2 weeks, and then they said, "You're really nice, but I think you'd be better up front. You're a bit slow."
Okay, so you're at a restaurant on Larchmont. Okay.
Yeah. And then, what was your question? Oh, why is it backwards? Well, the thing is, I've always loved. I just love parties, I guess, and I love it when I love bringing people together, and I guess that's kind of a way that I grew up, because we hosted a lot of parties for American or French holidays, and we also, my parents have a small vineyard, so we always cut the grapes, and then there's a big party for that, and my parents have a barn in which we and when we do parties, we always all cook together. And
now I've had your stuff too through Natalie's nonprofit. Like, you do a lot of stuff with We the Women Collective.
Yes.
And Rick, her soufflés are so good. She did a vegetarian soufflé. It was insane.
But that was actually thanks to you, because one night I was supposed to cook at Natalie's, or we were supposed to do a dinner together, and I had a fixed idea in my head of what dinner would be.
Right.
And then and Natalie called me and said, "Well, Chris Candy is coming for dinner, and he's a vegetarian, and nothing I was making was vegetarian." And
of course.
I got so upset. I said, "I have to call you back," because I didn't know what I could make, and I cried, and then the cheese.
Oh no!
Jesus Christ! These people just cut right in front.
Do you hear that, Chris? She
Yeah.
cried over
Wait,
your
you
vegetarian.
cried?
No, I didn't. He did.
Yes.
No, it was because of you. I cried. Yes, and then
Because of you, Chris.
What?
Because you decided to become a vegetarian.
And then
That's why I've been trying to get you to eat meat.
This is my worst nightmare. Me imposing my beliefs on someone.
But then it was such a fun evening, because I actually got off my fixed idea that I had, because I'm just realizing that I'm very stubborn. And we had the most fantastic evening, but you actually missed the most fun part because you had to go DJ or something.
Right. Oh, that's right.
Of course you did.
Yeah.
Because we did a cheese soufflé, which was great, and then we did a chocolate soufflé, which was so good. I mean, that was really good.
Yeah.
I'm a bit of an idiot. I come from a working class family. I don't use words well. What is a soufflé?
Soufflé means to souffle. Souffler in French means to blow, and it just means that there's air going through the eggs.
Okay.
So
it's an egg-based dish.
It's an egg-based dish, and you separate the yolks from the whites, and you beat the egg whites till you put a lot of air in the egg whites, and then you fold. You don't mix. You fold the egg whites into whatever mixture you want it to be, either cheese or chocolate, and then you bake it. And because of with the temperature and all the air in the egg whites, it fluffs up and it blows up. So it's called a soufflé.
So,
Yeah, Rick, you didn't know that?
Is it like an... No, I didn't.
It's
Is it like an
excellent.
airy quiche? Is it like a quiche?
It's an
Or is
airy
a quiche
quiche.
a total...
Yes.
It's
An
kind
airy
of an
quiche.
airy quiche.
But then how did you make a souffle with no eggs for Chris? Would that be considered a souffle?
No, he eats eggs.
I eat eggs.
He's vegetarian.
You eat eggs?
Yeah, I eat eggs. I mean, I haven't.
I didn't know.
I haven't this week, but I'm okay eating eggs.
But that's an animal. That could be an animal. That's like.
Well, that's the thing.
There's
an ovo-lacto vegetarian, which I kind of fall into that category most of the time.
Oh, okay.
And
do you eat fish?
No, I don't eat fish.
Okay.
But the egg, like the kind of logic is the egg is going to be made anyways. And it's just unfertilized.
Wait, it's going to be what? It's
made anyways. It like hens naturally just produce eggs, and it's the same thing with dairy.
Do you eat chicken broth? Do you eat soup with chicken broth?
I try not to. No, I don't. I'm sure I've had it over the years just by not asking.
Yeah.
But
don't ask, don't tell.
Exactly. No, I've been trying to be better and better with it over the years, but it's not about my dietary lifestyle that we're talking about right now. I just had no idea that I made you cry that day. I'm so sorry.
No.
Chris
makes a lot of women cry.
No. She's a brick.
It's okay.
So, you son of a bitch.
I'm driving through the cemetery right now.
Where? In Glendale?
Forest Lawn.
Really?
What are you doing there?
Where are you?
I'm just cruising around.
Yeah, normally
I don't have an errand.
You don't have an errand to do. Yeah, it's the idea with this podcast is because Rick and I always talk on the phone to each other when we're sitting in crazy traffic, and so we decided to start a podcast based out of our conversations, and now we just started roping interesting people into the mix to go for the ride.
It's so fun.
So when did you fully move then from Paris over to the States? Whoa, easy.
Yeah.
God. Sorry, we had a Volkswagen almost smash right into the side of the car here.
Well, when did I move? Well, 4 summers ago, I was working with another chef in Maine on an island where there's no restaurants. So we did private chefing, and we're in very high demand because
You're right.
there's a
You're
large, wealthy summer community that liked our services. And then I didn't really want to go back to Paris because I'd been wanting to do this catering in Paris, but I just couldn't do it. I would always create a problem.
What do you mean?
Like
what kind of problem?
I would, how when you're procrastinating.
Yes.
There was I would always there was always a problem, but I think I was just. And there's not the same enthusiasm. The French are not as enthusiastic as the Americans when you say you want to start something.
Right.
They say, "Oh, well, that's so much work."
The French do that.
Yeah, and the Americans say, "Oh, that's fantastic. How can I help?"
Right.
Yeah.
It's kind of that. Yeah.
Is that would you say that's a cultural thing across the board in France?
Oh yeah, they're not. They're much more. They're not as business oriented or in a different way.
Do you think it's, I don't know, the socioeconomic structure of France being that America is such like this capitalist system that has the greatest healthcare in the world, and we let people die? I don't know what I'm talking about here, but I'm just wondering.
Marie just left the car. She's gone.
Yeah. No, I've heard this. I have a buddy of mine, a close friend. He's been in Paris for 10 years, and he was saying that it is hard getting people. He works in the film industry, and it's hard getting people excited. Everyone wants to kind of downplay everything.
Yeah, it's difficult.
Kind of push it. Yeah.
And they don't. The French don't really. Know about gratitude.
Interesting.
They don't. They don't. I don't even know how to say that I'm grateful in French.
Interesting.
They don't even have a word for it.
I don't know how to say
it. Grateful.
It's not. You have to kind of go around in circles to express it.
That's interesting.
Yeah, so maybe that's why they have a chip.
Would you say like France is more of a nihilistic viewpoint of the world in terms of just kind of, I don't know, celebrating nature and things are what they are? I don't know. I'm just curious. I feel like America, we're kind of founded with this Christian belief that there is some kind of a higher. I wonder if those things.
Well, what is the religious scene over there in Paris?
Yeah, what's the religious scene like?
Well, it's more Catholic, but it's
Right.
I mean, it's originally Catholic, but it's become very Muslim.
Right.
Yeah.
Currently.
Yeah. I think there's some.
And has the like Islamic food scene gotten into Paris more now too?
Yeah.
Just since you've seen it change and stuff like that over the years.
Yeah. And I mean, I don't really know actually.
Right.
But they have their yeah, they do.
Cool.
There's a big like North African food community.
When was the last time you were over there?
I was just gonna ask that question.
But I came back 3 weeks ago.
Oh, so what were you doing over there?
Oh, well, I have to tell you.
Yeah, please, this is the perfect place to do it.
I went there because my best friend was getting married.
Okay.
And then a month later, my father was turning 80.
Oh, congratulations, Dad.
So in the meantime,
Congrats.
I went to Italy, to Barolo.
Oh, what's that?
That's a city in the Piemonte, where they have the most famous Italian wine, Barolo.
Barolo? What's Barolo? See, this is...
Come on, Chris.
I don't know nothing.
How do you not know this?
Barolo.
Well, it's very famous Italian
Got
wine.
it.
And my friend Giada has a bed and breakfast there, Giada Patria.
Okay.
And we'll speak a little bit like this when we see each other. It gets a little bit silly. And so I went to visit her for 2 weeks, and it was during truffle season. So we went to the International Truffle Fair.
What was that like?
Wow. Yeah.
I think it cost €7 to get in.
Right.
It's in Alba, which is about 12 kilometers from Barolo. And it's just stands and stands and stands of different people selling white and black truffle and any type of produce you can eat with truffle, such as sausages, charcuteries, or cheese, or bread, or
So rich.
I love truffle.
It was really fun, and we bought.
I love truffle.
Have you ever been truffle hunting with the? My mom went
where are
once
you,
in
Rick?
Italy with the
There you are.
pigs.
What's
with
that?
Truffle hunting. Have you ever gone truffle hunting?
No, I've never done that.
I haven't.
Yeah, I'm not asking you, Chris. I don't care what you've done. I highly recommend it. I've never done it. I haven't done it, but my mom went, and it is a fun experience where they have these.
With the pigs?
Well, they had dogs and pigs, yeah, like hunting for the truffles. What's your favorite dish?
With truffles?
Yeah, with truffles.
Sure.
My favorite dish. Oh, this is my favorite dish with black truffle. It's steak tartare, just raw beef
Okay.
with a little bit
Whoa.
of olive oil, salt and pepper, and a little bit of shaved black truffle. It's the most
man.
delicious. You don't need anything more.
I've never had steak tartare, so explain that to us. I mean, because there's such like a fear about eating uncooked poultry, uncooked meat. Can you get sick from that, or are they cutting it from a? How is steak tartare prepared
you're
differently than other meats?
Oh, you were crackling a little bit. Say the question again, Rick.
Interesting.
Can you get sick from? I think he was saying, can you get sick from eating raw meat?
Well, I mean, how what makes steak tartare steak tartare? Is it a certain type of, part from the cow that they cut from, or, how are we able to eat that and not eat it and
not get sick?
Yes. Yeah.
Well, usually I you know what? I don't even know that, but I know that you don't want to eat raw chicken or raw pork. You don't want to eat raw white meat, I guess. Raw red meat is okay. Now that I think about it, but I can't.
Yeah, a lot of cultures have raw like cow and horse. I feel like that I've heard of
Horse, yeah.
I've heard of that
Horse?
too. Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, Italy eats a lot of horse, don't they?
Mm-hmm.
They like that.
The French too.
The French do.
What kind of what kind of dish would a horse be in? What, like a horse? Would you have a horse soufflé?
No.
Horse ragout, I think they do.
No, you would have raw horse, I think.
Raw horse.
Yeah.
But they cook horse too, I think, don't they? I've heard of horse ragout, like in Italy.
I've never had that.
Poor horse.
I mean,
But-
I'm just saying.
I mean, it's interesting. I was just in Mexico City, and they love, dried worms, dried crickets,
Yeah.
Oh,
dried
yeah.
scorpions.
But
That's a big thing.
That was always my thing with being vegetarian, and then like the vegan world is like I would rather eat like something from like, oh, the moon is so full. Have you seen the moon, Rick?
Oh la la!
I can't see the moon because I'm in my car. I guess
Wow.
I'll look for it.
You
I don't
have
see
to.
it.
It's good. It's good. It's
Oh,
good.
Where is it?
It's behind the palm tree.
It's behind the palm tree.
Some
I'm in a
people-
different.
I'm not reversing to see this thing. I've got too many things going on that could get us in danger.
I'm looking for
I'd
it.
rather
I can't
eat a
find it.
piece of tofu than eat a cricket. That's what I'm trying to say here. All right, but
Oh
that's
yeah,
just
Chris.
me.
Like being a vegetarian, does a insect count for you?
I mean, I would never want to eat an insect, but like that's like when you get into like the macros of things, like supposedly like a lot of like insects and rodents die when they're pulling out all of the corn and vegetables
the corn,
from farming. Yeah. It's like I don't know. It's like for me, it's more definitely aware of it, but it's like okay, at that point, like you've got to really just have like the luxury and the ability to grow all your own stuff.
Yeah.
And it's not of interest, but
It's neither
but no.
here nor there.
it's neither here nor there. So no, Marie,
It's a good time to plant when the moon is full.
is it?
Hmm?
Do you have a garden in
Why?
your backyard?
I do.
What are
Wait,
you growing?
wait.
What are you
Why
growing
is that?
currently?
Wait, hold on. I want to know why. Why is it a good time to plant when the moon is full?
Yeah, why is that, Marie?
Yeah, why is
Because-
that?
Because it's just the new beginning.
Oh, a new
Like
season.
okay,
It's
Yeah, that
good
makes sense. That
to
makes
to
sense.
plant.
Yeah.
It's good to. I mean, in California, I don't think it makes that much of a difference
Right.
because the weather is always so nice. But
Yeah.
in different seasons of different parts of the world, it does. Anyway, yeah, I just have.
Oh my God,
herbs.
the moon.
It's good, isn't it?
Yeah.
We'll have to
I'm
post
just
a
looking at
photo
the
of
moon right now. So sorry.
Post
The
a-
moon's amazing.
Let's post a photo of the moon right now. You can see it.
It's just going to be a generic moon
Yes,
photo.
I
There you
know.
go.
Okay, cool. We're near Lassen's, but I think I'm going to drive us into downtown because I want to get talking about a few more things. Okay, so you come to LA, start the catering company. So, what are primarily the things that are on the menu nowadays that you're preparing? Do you find that there's certain like go-to items that like people like, or are you always mixing it up? I mean, I've had your food and you're cooking on a few shoots now and at Natalie's house, but like.
Oh, cool. You do catering for film and television shoots.
You did one, I remember.
I did it for the Debbie short movie.
Yeah,
short
short film I
film.
worked
Okay.
on. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you did roasted chicken, I remember.
I did. I roasted some chicken.
And she
Was
had
that your mom's recipe?
No, it wasn't.
No, it's yours.
Ah.
Okay.
It
Would you? Well, I guess yeah. Chris just asked a question. I also have a one off the piggyback off that. In your catering company, is it mainly French cuisine, or do
Yes.
you do kind of a yes?
Yes, it's mainly French.
Nice.
But I've realized that in Los Angeles you have to have food for everyone, and which when I begun I thought was a really difficult challenge. But it's actually nice to have food for the people who don't want to eat too many carbs or gluten, and
Right.
to have vegetarian and vegan options, and it's actually really easy to prepare a whole meal with food for everyone, and then you don't have to. I think it's wonderful that to be able to have anyone over and that everyone can have something to eat that's not just a grain or a green bean.
right.
Yeah.
So in LA now, like, it's kind of annoying to talk about, but like everyone's always talking about how LA's having its like food moment, and like there's all these restaurants. I can definitely see that, like growing up in LA and like seeing a bunch of places turn into like fancy restaurants, like the one to the right over here, Tsubaki, which I've been to, which is really good actually. But what is your take on it all? Like, is there a place you're really excited about, or a place that's been in LA for a while that you really like to go to? How is your take on LA's up and coming kind of food world?
Well, I think it's great because I sometimes I think that I should open up to more different kinds of cuisine.
Right.
And not always stay in the French cuisine.
Yeah.
So I like to try out different places, but I have to tell you that when I'm constantly most of my time I'm cooking, and I don't really have the. Sometimes I just all I want is a dish of noodles or something.
Right.
I don't want to think about the next thing I'm going to eat or.
Right.
So I do want that to change. I do want to go out to more restaurants and discover more things, but on my time off, I guess I'd rather go see a movie than
cook.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. That makes a ton of sense.
What's your favorite, non-French dish?
Oh yeah,
that you always go to, that like you go to, like something that you enjoy the most?
I like crispy duck.
Okay.
And I
Chinese?
like yes, and
maybe we'll drive through Chinatown. That's a good idea.
And we're just driving through Chinatown. Maybe that was that was it.
You guys are on a food tour.
I like Moroccan food too. The bricks that they put in phyllo dough, and when they mix a bunch of herbs and put an egg in the middle, and then make a nice triangle, phyllo triangle.
Does that help? I'm gonna turn the light on in the car because it's so dark in here.
Oh, I already put the light on in my car.
Oh, the lights are on now. Okay.
We're in the
dark zone. Yeah, it was getting a little too dark. It was starting to look like a film noir in here for a second, and then the video projector turned into a podcast. All right, perfect. Oh, there we are. Okay, so.
Well, are you a fan of Mexican food at all? Do you like the LA taco truck scene? Are you into that?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
What's your take on this fusion? Like you've got Korean barbecue mixed with Mexican food, and then they have this. Who's that famous chef?
That's Roy Choi.
Choi.
I met Roy Choi. Very nice guy.
Has he been on your podcast?
He hasn't been on the podcast, but maybe one day we'll get him on here.
What do you think? What's your feeling about the fusion of cultures?
I like it, but it's just sometimes.
I feel like fusion is a very 90s term. I feel like in LA in like the mid 90s there's a lot of like fusion restaurants.
Really?
I feel like we're still fused.
Oh, we're still fused.
We're fusing big time, aren't we?
Yeah, we're fusing in a very big time. I just I constantly think of like restaurants that I would go to with my mom when I was a kid, and they would be like Hawaiian fusion, or Pan Asian fusion,
Pan Asian,
or and then there was like a chocolate lava cake always at the very end.
Yeah.
You know what I would fuse? I would fuse Mexican and Italian. That way you could have like a lasagna taco.
Are you? That's disgusting.
Yeah.
Or like bolognese for salsa.
No, that's disgusting.
Bolognese ranchero.
you're just, Rick.
What?
That's horrible.
Huevos ran lasagna.
No.
Lasagna ranchero.
A nice manicotti.
I actually
don't know what I'm
like
talking
just
about.
3 ingredients.
What are your 3 ingredients?
No, but I like just having.
Simple. I love that too.
And I like to taste everything that I eat, and I don't really like spicy food. I'm actually quite boring.
No, I don't think so. I think that's actually really telling. I think when you can kind of break things down to just like the bare elements of the flavor they're bringing to the table, a little bit of salt, a little bit of fat, a little bit of acid goes a long way.
And if you do too much salt, you add a little bit of vinegar I was making a pasta sauce. I got a little too drunk. I added way too much salt.
What
So
kind
I
of
started
pasta?
cutting it with vinegar, a lot of vinegar.
A
And it
taco
worked.
pasta?
No, it wasn't a taco. It was like I have an Italian family, and we do like a 3-hour bolognese
vinegar.
sauce.
Vinegar.
Oof.
Yeah, white vinegar will, if you oversalt something, white vinegar in like a sauce, it'll help counteract your mistake
It's the acidity.
that you made.
Is that what it is?
Acidity.
I don't know any of this stuff. And funny enough, my friend always makes fun of me. My friend Mike Park always makes fun of me because I make ratatouille. And I talk about it like
Ratatouille.
I talk about it like it's a really big deal that I make it.
It is.
It is. I think so too.
Takes time.
Yeah, it takes a long time, and I think I make a pretty damn good
A
one.
good ratatouille.
You should be proud.
Ratatouille.
Ratatouille. Ratatouille. Yeah, it's so good. Have you ever had it, Rick? Ratatouille?
Yeah, my mom used to make ratatouille, and then I love that little Disney film Ratatouille with the rat that he's cooking.
Yeah. He was doing something while I was still doing it too. All right, let me just put it that way,
All right, you started it.
No.
I got a question, Marie. What's like your go-to like dish that you make often for yourself? Like my girlfriend, rice cakes, avocado, smashed avocado. Me, bacon and eggs, kind of a go-to. I know how to make it. What do you have a certain dish you eat quite often? And it could be something simple. It can be the easiest thing. Is there a particular thing your go-to?
I actually like a good salad. I like making myself
Salad?
good salads.
Yeah.
What kind of a salad? I'm a Cobb salad guy. What are you?
I'm more...
Cobb salad guy.
I don't know. The other day, I mean, this is really simple, but I bought what is it called? Celery root.
Uh-huh.
I
Okay.
grated it, and I made a little lemon mayonnaise and made a true celery remoulade with a bit of parsley.
Whoa.
And it was you could taste the celery root, you could taste the mayonnaise, you could taste the celery, and it was perfect. I mean the parsley. And it
Yes.
was, and then maybe a little bit of, I had it on its own actually, but I love making myself salads with whatever vegetable I have in the fridge. At the moment I have leeks. I like to just steam them and then just make a little vinaigrette and maybe a hard-boiled egg mashed on it or something like that.
Yeah. I just got turned on to soft-boiled eggs. Those are really good as well.
Oh yeah.
You get the yolk kind of in the middle. And what is I've heard this a bit. I've just heard it through the grapevine, but I heard that French cuisine it's some of the hardest food to cook in the world. I don't know.
Yeah, she's shaking her head.
Is there a particular dish? What is the most difficult dish that you've ever had to cook? And maybe you can walk us through that experience a little bit and why it was difficult.
Well, I mean, recently, to come back to my trip, I had to make my present to my father for his birthday was to make him a bœuf bourguignon because he's from Burgundy and it's his favorite dish, and that was difficult in the sense that I had a lot of pressure because he's very difficult but kind, and
the parents are the only ones
critical.
that listen to these podcasts.
That was I don't know if that was the most. I don't know what the most difficult. The most difficult thing I think is making a good pastry dough.
Yeah.
Making a good quiche is very
Yes.
difficult. And if you make it from scratch, if you make your own dough, which I can tell you how to make.
What? Okay. We could put a
but-
recipe in the description here if we need to.
A good pie dough, and not to get the
Wha-
pie
what-
and the tart confused, of course.
What makes it difficult? Why is pastries? Is it?
Yeah,
Is it because it's? Yeah. What makes it so hard?
Because you don't want to. You need the dough to be at the right temperature. You can't just take it out of the fridge and work it because it'll get hard. You have to be careful of the amount of water you put in the dough because you know how sometimes the dough will shrink when it's in the pie pan.
Yeah.
and that's because of the water. And you don't want it to be too thick, or the dough won't cook and the filling of the pie will cook, and then it's a catastrophe. And yeah, I think I would love. I don't know how to make pâte feuilletée, puff pastry, but that's on my bucket list for 2020.
I don't know why I relate this to puff pastry, but Canada and Canadian culture love eclairs.
Oh yeah.
The eclair goes very far in Canada.
Really?
I'm not sure why. Why there is the French-Canadian influence, but I feel like I had a very early exposure to eclairs with my family.
Eclairs are good.
Yeah.
Man, I'm so hungry.
Well,
I
in
want
this
to make.
podcast.
I might make. I think I should
maybe
work
we should
on.
find an eclair at Lassen's. Do they think they probably have a bad eclair there?
Maybe they have them at the Café Figaro. They actually have good pastries at Café Figaro.
Where's Café Figaro?
On Vermont.
Oh.
Cafe Figaro. It's right by my
Yeah,
office.
it's by your office. That's right.
Where's your office?
They apparently make an amazing like chocolate almond croissant that they never have in stock. But I
Really?
was sitting there one time, I was eating some eggs, and there was a guy next to me talking about it to his girlfriend, and then he tried to order one, and they were like, no, not today. I don't know.
Whoa.
So now I want one because I can't have it.
I just think it's so interesting because, you know, as we're talking about all this stuff, like we've had a bunch of like actors, we've had a bunch of local people to the city, but it's like the food world is like equally its own ecosystem of people doing things and making things, and it's like there's a hierarchy to it that I barely know, and I feel like there's a lot of like armchair foodies, like, you know, they're like, oh yeah, well, I got to try this new restaurant downtown, and well, that's fine if you want to do that as a hobby, but like I'm like always very honest with myself in the fact that I don't know anything, you know. I know the spots that I like, but it's been so interesting like learning about it.
Yeah, how do a couple of guys like Chris and I learn about like what's on the up and coming, what's new? Is there a magazine or a blog we can go? I mean, how do you? There's some. My girlfriend knows all these chefs and who's doing what, who's opening what, and I'm like, who's telling you this information? Where are you? Because I want to be in. I want to be in on this.
I think it's mostly word of mouth.
Word of mouth. Yeah.
I get, what is it, notifications from the Infatuation. I mean, whatever their emails, but I never read it. There's this French girl called Victoire Lou. Her website is called In the Loop, Loup, who has a website with, it's a kind of a blog with restaurants. She only reviews restaurants that she likes. So, which I think is really cool because
That was like a Jonathan Gold kind of thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I actually wrote a
Yeah.
few reviews in it.
Nice.
Yeah, but I don't know. I think my favorite way to discover places is just to walk into places and see if I want to have a meal there.
Right.
I don't like to read. I mean, sometimes I read about something and it makes me want to go, but I don't like to. You know, I mean, when you look at places on Yelp or on, you don't know what who wrote the review and.
Yeah, and it's so subjective too. It's everyone's taste.
Yeah.
I gotta say though, you go to a nice restaurant, a really nice place. Each dish, just for me, it's like I don't even know. You know what it's like because you're a chef. It just transports you to a state of mind. I'm on drugs when I eat good food. I'm completely. And Chris, I know you're a foodie as well. You share the same experience. I think everyone does. You know, this feeling of it's just comfort and delight and everything all wrapped up in one. I bet that's exciting.
Oh, go for it.
The quantity.
I bet it's exciting for you to cater these parties, and you get to see. You work so hard, cooking this meal and prepping it, and then people, eat it so quickly in comparison to how much time it took. There's got to be that. It's got to feel satisfying for you, I imagine. Like
a group. because you always stress so much before
Right.
an event, and then when it goes well, usually I mean, most of the time it goes well. I think it's always gone well up
Right.
until today, but then some evenings or days are so satisfying, and that's great. But I think that quantities are extremely important. I don't like very full plates.
Okay.
Right.
I
That
think
is the
they
French
take-
way.
Yeah, I think probably, I don't know, but I think it's super. You kind of want to. I don't like to stuff my face. I don't
Sure.
like the big plates.
Right. Like a
Right.
buffet is the most disgusting thing to you.
Well, a buffet, you get to decide, Chris.
That's true,
You can
but-
choose.
all
Yeah, I
you can
know.
eat. All you can eat.
I
buffet.
have the same friend, Mike Park. We have to have him back on the podcast. He likes to do this thing in Las Vegas where he goes and gets the buffet pass in Las Vegas, and he goes.
Oh my God,
And
yeah,
and we
I know what you're talking
walk
about.
Las Vegas, and we go to every buffet, and I
Yeah,
only
that's
eat
pain.
I only eat a little bit, but
Yeah.
he fills up. He loves it. He's just like so stoked, and because he loves to eat. And I love to eat too, but I'm like I've over the years learned like no, it's better to have like portion or like enjoy the taste of things, enjoy what you're eating. It's not all about just stuffing and filling a void. But I understand what you're saying, but every time I see a buffet I think of that, and it's interesting to hear that because it's off-putting, you know? I mean, there's a lot of people love it and all the power to them, but I hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Leave people wanting
think-
more.
There
Always
you go.
leave people wanting more.
There you go.
It's very similar, making food and making movies and kind of what we do. It's you're kind of it's a similar thing. It really, now that I'm thinking about it, I feel like I'm discovering this now. I mean, when you make a short film or a feature-length film, the amount of time you put into prep and into post-production and into the whole thing compared to how quickly someone consumes it with their eyeballs it's crazy.
It's crazy
Yeah,
how
yeah,
quick
yeah.
is the turnaround. Yeah.
Yeah.
I hear what you're saying, yeah.
I mean, I remember we did Thanksgiving dinner this year, and it was, 10 hours of cooking, and everyone ate the food within 30, 45 minutes, and they were done. And it was like, wow.
Yeah.
I mean, what the hell?
Yeah.
It's yeah, I know, it's crazy the amount of time and effort that goes into making these things, and then voila, it's done.
Et voilà.
Is there a French dish that takes, like, a crazy amount of time? There are some Italian sauces that can take up to 3 days to cook, because you're just doing a slow simmer the entire time. Is
3
there-
days to cook a sauce?
Yeah, do a 3-day cook,
Is that what you were like your bolognese?
No, that was about 3.5, 4 hours total. And then I really messed it up at the end because I was drunk.
Oh.
I was so drunk, I just oversalted the damn thing. That's my biggest problem. I add too
That's
much
when
salt.
you added
I go,
vinegar?
Yeah, then I started cutting it with vinegar. It was a big mess. No one knew. Nobody knew what was going on. Well, now they know, but whatever, it's fine. Is there a particular French dish that just takes all day to make?
Yeah, all the stewed dishes, like the
stews.
bœuf bourguignon, even like a blanquette de veau, which is a veal dish, one of my favorite dishes, served with rice. I lost a tennis match there.
What, at the tennis we're just in Echo Park right now.
Yeah.
Getting close to Lassen's, actually, but
And
Nice. What's the name of your company, by the
it's
way?
called
We never-
Marie de Paris.
Marie de Paris.
And how can people?
Yeah, as we're
how
getting
can people
closer,
find out?
how can people find out about your stuff and if they want to
How do they
hire
find
you or
you?
get you on board? Yeah, what do
They
they do?
can contact me on Instagram with my name, Marie Sadron.
Put it up.
I said that so
Sadron.
wrong.
Don't call me Marie Sadron.
I might have done that.
Don't
Yeah, he did do that.
punch
he did
you.
that.
Oh, God. You want to get it
Punch
out of
him,
the
please.
want to get it out of the way now?
Punch him.
Ow!
Yeah, punch him. Nice, I heard that one.
And
Slap him in the face.
and what else? My website. I tried to do one, but then I got I can't really figure out how much I want to put up on my website, so I'm not there yet. So
Right.
I guess Instagram is the best way, or to call you guys.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. We could be your agent.
We could be your agent. Take a nice lean cut. See, that was a good joke. It was a food joke, and it was.
Oh, I like
lean
that.
cut.
I was going to say our cut could be Eclairs. You could just pay us in Eclairs.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure, Rick. Lean cut was a better joke, okay?
Lean
Everyone's
cut, I
laughing.
like that. Yeah, because it's like, meat. I get it. Something you don't eat, Chris.
Yes, that is true. God, you
know
know what?
Chris, tell us about the time that you ate lobster.
I ate lobster
at Natalie's wedding.
At Natalie's wedding, at her cousin's wedding.
And you haven't eaten any meat. Tell us about it, because that's a pretty good story.
I was at their wedding, and
You were in Maine.
I was in Maine. I was up in Maine for their wedding, Dan and Natalie's, and they had a very lovely wedding. Very beautiful, very pretty, great people. And they had Maine lobster, and I said, I'm never going to eat Maine lobster again. Like, this is the only opportunity I'm going to do. I'm going to do it. It's for my good friend Dan, my good friend Natalie. Got to do it. I just didn't like it. I remember I ate it, and my friend Fabi, she had to help me do it because I just didn't even know how to do it, and I just didn't like. For me, I just didn't like the texture. Even if I ate meat, I don't know if
you didn't.
I didn't like the texture.
And
I felt
the taste.
I didn't like the taste because I felt like it was just it was really just for the butter and the saltiness of it, and I'm sure over time I would get into it, but that experience wasn't my thing. But that's okay because I know so many people who hate vegetarian food, so I get to have
Did you get sick?
No, I didn't get sick. No. I just,
okay.
it was kind of a reaffirming moment. I was just like, oh yeah, this isn't my calling. I don't know. I'm on the fence. I don't want to be a person who's always like, I'm always going to be this way, but I can't see myself. Maybe fish one day. I'm not sure, but I can't really ever see myself getting back into poultry or red meat ever. But it's been a long time.
You seem like well, you do like sushi, but I guess that's why I was going to say you seem like a sushi guy. You are a sushi guy, but you go with the
as we're getting close
avocado roll.
To Lassen's.
What are we doing at Lassen's?
I'm going to go in and get a snack. That's the errand.
Oh, you're doing an errand.
Well, Marie didn't have an errand, so.
Well,
okay, I thought she had to go get something for maybe a dish.
Well, no, I'm not cooking tonight because I cooked all day. But I want to. Can I make it to my boxing class at 6?
Oh yeah, definitely, no problem. We'll get you there for sure. Where's the class at?
Close to where I live.
Oh yeah, perfect. We'll get you there, no problem.
What were you cooking today?
Today I made.
For a client?
Yes, I'm working for a private client in Hancock Park, and I'm doing a lot of pastries. And today I made lava cookies.
Whoa.
Not lava cakes, but lava cookies.
Oh, wow.
And what else?
What's inside of a lava cookie? What is it?
Well, today I put... I made the cookie base, chocolate cookie base, and then inside the lava I put some leftover chocolate pot de creme.
Oh my God.
And a little chocolate chip, and then I made a ball and closed it and baked it in a mini muffin tin, and
oh my God.
And like that, we're gonna have to end it there because we're at Lassen's. So, Rick, you want to close up?
Wait a minute.
What?
Do you need anyone to sample these things? Because Chris and I will volunteer in a heartbeat.
Absolutely.
Yeah, well, once this job is over, because it is taking up a lot of my time, I'm going to start doing dinners and stuff again at home.
We'd love, yeah. Well, let's do one.
I'll do a vegetarian dinner just for Chris.
Just for Chris.
Chris candy.
Well, I've got.
They're candied oranges.
Yeah, I'm gonna eat some of this for sure. This looks so good.
Before we end it, if some young chef out there in Saskatchewan is looking to become a French chef and they want to start out, what's the first dish they should learn how to make? As a good starter French dish, what would you say? Go on Google, look it up. What's like something that someone can't? I'm talking about myself. What should I make? I want to make something French. Where would I start?
Oh, well, with a soufflé.
Yeah.
It's so French.
A soufflé?
Yeah, and it's
Okay.
very basic. It's really like it's country kitchen cooking. It's eggs and
Simple.
whatever you mix with it. You just have to get the don't open the oven while it's cooking, because
Okay.
the cold air coming in will
Mess it up.
refrain it from rising, and teach yourself how to fold instead of mix.
Fold the egg whites.
Yeah.
Fun. Okay. Soufflé it is.
And let me know. Send me a picture.
Yes.
Oh, I will. I'll go to Google and type in best looking soufflé.
Tasting is better.
Look
though.
what I did. Most perfect lighting. It's been really lovely talking to you. Thank you so much. You
Nice
imparted
talking
a lot
to you.
of-
I hope to meet you.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
We will.
Chris, did you show her a picture of my face? She doesn't even know who she's talking to here.
Nah, yeah, she knows who you are.
Okay.
I sent her a video of the show.
I did.
Oh,
I
nice.
can't-
Yeah. The show's out there. We're in a vortex right now because we're delayed, but yeah, it's exciting.
Cool.
So, thank you so much.
Merci,
I appreciate it.
merci.
I'll close this one out, Chris.
Perfect.
I got a sheriff with his lights on right here. Perfect timing.
Okay.
All right. Well, you guys enjoy lessons.
Thanks.
We will. Thanks, Rick.
See you guys.
Take care. Bye.
Bye bye. That was a fun time. Great podcast today. It's completely dark out right now. This is new for us. We're usually, like I said, in the daytime, but that's neither here nor there. That's Chris's favorite catchphrase. I'm closing out the podcast. This was another exciting podcast. I hope you guys learned a little something about French cuisine. I know I did. I'm a big fan. Been to Paris a few times. I like the baguettes. I like the brie cheese. My girlfriend just brought me home some cheese, some camembert, and some other cheese that I cannot pronounce, and I'm not going to butcher that up. There you go, another food pun. Chris, you're going to love it. Catch us next week. We're on every Monday, and we're on all the podcast platforms, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Play, and, of course, YouTube. And thank you so much, guys, and I love you, and Chris loves you, and Marie loves you. Au revoir.